Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. Hey, everybody, how you doing? I guess I should probably get the mic over here so you can hear me. Okay, another busy weekend, man. Hope everybody's doing good. Get the comments back up here so I can see what's going on. So yeah, man, we're really excited. Kevin's going to be with us tonight, and it's been a long time coming. I wanted to have him on and talk with him for a long time. So give me just a second here. Let's see who we've got on today. Celeste, how you doing? Sam is here. Yep, finally made it to Saturday. Only problem is tomorrow I gotta get ready to get up and go to work Monday. Whee! Kel, good to see ya. Lucky, Laura, Mr. Hill is here. Good to see ya. Panther, Michael, how you doing, buddy? Good to see ya. Jay, Rocco. Hello, Fex. I hope everybody's doing good as well. We got here really quick. Carmode freaking out. She thought I'd been bitten and grabbed by the snakes because I dropped a Coke can. Yeah, as a general rule, Coke cans are more dangerous than live snakes too, contrary to what some people may say. Hey, how are you? Hey, Jeremy made it. Good to see you, my friend. I was going to call you earlier, but I figured you'd be out playing or something like that. I still got to get out there at some point. I was planning on it this past week and just haven't managed to get there. Erica. Hey, Ben, good to see you. Greg, good evening, sir. Okay. I think we've got through everybody. Just talked with Kevin a little while ago. I had mentioned that we're going to probably have him come on at about 10 after or so. I thought we'd get all the preliminary hellos and stuff like that out of the way. But yeah, Kevin, whenever you're ready, anytime between now and 10 after, you're good. As you can see, I'm double fisting my coffee. I got to keep extra stuff in here so that I don't have to run back and forth to the kitchen. Hey, man, how you doing, John? I'm guessing John's driving home from work. Let's see. He's talking about his door being more dangerous than a snake's. I'd have to agree. Oh, yeah, I know it, man. It's always crazy. We'll just have to throw a dart at the wall and pick a time at some point. Let's see. Travis is here. Good to see you, sir. Let's see. Hey, Nicole is in. How you doing? But yeah, we'll do our normal looking over US ARC stuff here in a little bit. New stuff here. We're still working with the new Asian water monitor. And Kevin is actually familiar with that one. But he is doing great. He's settling in, no issues. For you guys that was keeping up with that, one new Asian water monitor that I got over here has been, it's another one of those cases where you really want to do socializing videos and stuff like that with them, so you can show how they actually respond and everything when they're actually scared. But we've got a shortage of scared animals here. Especially a monitor coming from come from Nerd is going to be a pretty good kid anyway to start with. And Aubrey does really good with him too, so he had him for a while. But yeah, we're still looking forward to getting some content. I want to do some recording with him tomorrow so that we can get another good video out with him. And if you guys have anything specific that you'd like me to talk about in these videos when we're bringing the monitors out and things of that nature, then by all means, let me know. I'll be sure to take note of it. All of the stuff that I film, though, I don't script anything. It's all stream of consciousness. So if you have a question and I forget to mention it in a video, just hound me. Hit me up on Facebook or something like that. Hello. I've seen a couple new names here jumping into the chat. That's always good to see. Hey, Donna, how are you doing? North Carolina Exotics is here. Man. Uh-oh. What do we got here? Erica is talking about a U.S. ARC post that's a win. And make sure I didn't miss it. I think now the latest video that they put up on the US ARC Facebook page, on the US ARC YouTube channel, I'm sorry. If I'm not mistaken, that was an older video of Phil and one of the board members, I think it is, that I can't remember his name. But yeah, I don't think that is actually a current one. So that's another thing I've been meaning to do too. I'd like to get another video put out for US ARC that they can put up there. It's been a little bit of slow rolling with them getting content up on the YouTube channel. So, but we do have Jeremy there helping too. So I'm quite certain here after everything starts settling in a little bit, that channel is going to get a lot more active as well. Let's see. Haha, nice mug. Yep. Yeah, I've got the link of this thing all over the place. I'll have to put it up again. It's a crazy, stupid, expensive cup. I mean, it was like $50 or something like that for this thing. But as far as novelty mugs go, you really can't complain. The only problem is I wanted to put a real rattle on there. But again, I don't keep any rattlesnakes here. And everyone that I was going to, everyone I was looking at to buy was like $50. So. Hey, Missy, how you doing? Yeah, I'll definitely go ahead and put the link up there for you guys for that at some point tonight. Don't let me forget. Oh, cool. Awesome. That's good to hear. Maybe we'll have to have Jeremy jump in at some point if he's not too terribly busy and discuss some of the US ARC stuff that's going on. Maybe he can help us talk Kevin into coming out to North Carolina with the rest of us. All right, let me run through here and catch up on all the rest of these comments real quick. Now, I want to tell you guys something too. Typically when I'm on here by myself. It's kind of stream of consciousness. I'm paying a lot of attention to the comments. And it's a little bit different when I've got somebody else on. So if you guys throw a question out there, which I know there'll be some, please forgive me. I'm not always really good at keeping up with them. Just keep pounding the questions in there or whatever. Of course, super chats come up. If those come up, then those are easy to see and we'll definitely read those out. But okay, Jessica's here. Okay, cool. Yeah, Jeremy says they're going to be putting more videos out pretty soon. Pamela is here. Good to see you. All right. Hey, Golems. Good to see you. Okay. Well, if Kevin is ready, I think he's ready. He looks like he's ready. Cool. Hey, man. How are you doing?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Oh, man. Staying busy.
Got that positive attitude. Fake it till you make it.
Right? Exactly. Oh, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on.
You bet.
Yeah, man. It's and been kind of trying to harass. I try not to harass him too much. I try not to harass you too much, just simply because I know you got so much stuff going on out there. But yeah, this is a really good time to have you on.
Yeah, it's I know Jeremy Turgeon was, asking me. He's like, Tim. I'm like, yes, I know Tim. And I remember you were, weren't you taming? Was it like a Ceylonese python?
A Sri Lankan.
Sri Lankan. Okay, yeah, they're all nut bags.
You're right.
Irrational, pythons. So I remember, but I was watching a bit of you kind of like going into its cage, and I'm like, you were nailing a lot of the points.
Right.
And, sometimes I watch people try to manage something. Oh no.
Right.
I don't do that.
Like, yeah, you just terrified that poor animal.
You just created a rope of distrust, not a thread, but
right.
Whatever. So, but you were doing really good when you're going into the cage and you were just letting the animal catch up, and then you were taking it out and you were navigating it and you didn't get bit.
Yeah, it was he's a lot of fun, man. And he got he's like a celebrity now. I can't come on here without somebody asking about where's Bob, how's Bob doing, and all this. So yeah, he's doing really well. Let me see. I'm still gonna try and keep up somewhat with the comments. Sam was saying that the rattles are really fragile, and the first time I really take a swig on his coffee cup, it fall apart. That's a likelihood. Jeremy said he knew there was going to be a guitar in your hands.
This keeps me still. Mm-hmm. Me planted, because I can I can just collect myself, and I got something to. It's just like a widget.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the same way I am with my coffee. If I start feeling like I'm going to be, I just freaking start swigging coffee, which is kind of a bad cycle too, because the more you drink coffee, the more you fidget.
Well, it is fine, Tim. So I don't know if I'm hyper, so coffee will just make me totally neurotic. No good.
All right. No, cool. Aubrey is on. Aubrey says, "Oh my God, it's Kevin."
I know Aubrey just a wee bit. I love Aubrey in a very gay way.
Man, Aubrey. Okay, I didn't know you had it like that, man. And all the time I've been over there, I didn't know we could be doing this bromance thing.
No, I love Aubrey. Yeah. He's true and dear to me. So
yeah. Aubrey's good people, man. Him and we've got a couple folks in here, man. Aubrey and Cody.
Cody's awesome. Cody. Yep. Cody comes up now too, and we got Cody. He's gotten a fair number of animals from me, and latest acquisition are Suriname marine toads. So these are the marine toads that climb up in the trees, and they get really big. Not to be confused with like the Florida marine toads or any of that stuff.
Right. Yeah, I just seen him post some of that stuff the other day. And Aubrey and Cody both help with the educational programs and stuff like that we do out here.
So Cody was actually pretty thrilled. He just did that one a couple of weeks ago. He was talking about, so real thrilled. His Cuban rock iguanas that he got from me. So he's super thrilled with those too.
Yeah. It's these guys, Cody and Aubrey are both, man, they're like the backbone of our educational stuff. Because they've always got awesome animals that they bring out. The one Asian water monitor that Aubrey just brought back from you. When I heard he was taking him up there to you, I about cried.
That's Rick James, bitch.
That animal is so much fun. We had him out. I want to say it was early last year, maybe, to a park where we had like the science center, a couple other people out there, and the lizard was sitting up, he's got the sawhorse with the cork and everything, and he's just sitting down there chilling. And his head, he's big enough. His head's like face level with you.
Perfect.
And I was standing there talking with somebody, man, and that 2 foot long tongue came out of his mouth at just the right time, went all the way down into my throat.
Yes, it was absolutely. We've all pretty much been there, done that. Whatever.
Yeah. So we've got a special relationship. Let's see. Jessica is on here. Jessica went out to our last one at the Children's Museum, which was really cool. Now I'm trying to scroll down here just a little bit and see if I'm missing anybody. Yeah, there it goes. I try and keep up with all of the comments as they go. Cartafago is on here. What's up, Brandon? So I'm going to let's get the bad shit out of the way first. Actually, I guess Jeremy said there's some good shit on here too. US Arc. I'm going to pull us up real quick so we can look at it. This is something that we, for those of you guys that are like first time on the channel, this is something that I try and do on a regular basis so that I make sure that I'm not screwing anything up. Not that I've ever not done that before. Aha. So yeah, this is something that I try and do every Saturday on our live streams. And that's just look at the US Arc website and look at what alerts have been coming up and encourage everybody to get your membership because it's not hard to do. And if you've got any animals at all, you should definitely do it. We got some crazy ones on here, huh?
I've been so, for years doing so much of this stuff, and lately I don't have the fortitude. So right. I wait for somebody to go and just pinpoint something, and then I go berserk.
Right.
How it works.
Yeah, there's so much stuff to go into on a lot of these things, man, on how ridiculous some of it is. The latest one that came out was for Arizona. That was a warrantless animal seizure. So apparently it sounds like Fish and Wildlife is having too much red tape to go through when Karen calls from across the street and says that they should confiscate the person's snake. So they're trying to push this through, which is definitely something that we don't want to mess with.
Yeah, that's that kind of authority is ridiculous. So a warrantless, so they can come to your house. We know you have something illegal, but we can't name it on a warrant. We can't identify the species. So we just know you got the snake or the lizard, and we're going to come in your house, and we have a legal merit to enter your house.
Right. Horrible. Yeah, that's just, I mean, there may be a little bit of good intentions behind it, making it easier to deal with animal abuse cases and shit like that.
Really?
But like you said, that's just way too much. I mean, if it's a legit animal abuse case, then there should be evidence, and you should have to get a warrant for it, in my opinion.
So you could, with all the other stuff, you have to get a warrant and you have to have cause and you get in front of a judge. But right. An animal, so like, drugs or firearms or whatever, if they don't see it, they have to articulate what they're after, and right. It comes to the house. And generally is like if they come to your house and they go, okay, we're here to get a Burmese python, and they come in and then they see something else, I think they're going to have problems legally and have to leave and come back. So
yeah,
nail that other stuff too.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is just one of those things where you shouldn't be able to enter anybody's property for any reason without a warrant. It opens the door up to a lot of shit outside of reptiles. So, but this is I really don't think that's going to fly for that reason. And as what we was talking about earlier, Colorado's got the alert out for its pet tax on animals. So get ready to fund a new highway with your fish tank.
Colorado's getting ridiculous. There's all this furry stuff in the schools, and now the kids can be furry. And the doctor, the school nurse, they now have to have a veterinarian or doctor that poses a veterinarian.
Oh my God.
I have a friend that had to remove her 2 sons from the school.
Really?
Yeah, it's just gross.
Oh man, that's insane.
The kids bark and growl and hiss at the teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember what would have happened to me when I was a kid if I'd have done something like that.
Well, I just talked to a guy a couple weeks ago. He's in my store and with his daughter. And, I just happened to ask him, where do you live? And he goes, I live, blah, blah, blah. I just moved here. And I'm like, where'd you move from? Massachusetts. And I'm like, oh, I grew up in Massachusetts. And I ended up leaving because, the laws are pretty constraining, very, very liberal and whatnot. And he told me his friend had a son, and his son refused to wear a dress to school because they were doing like an inclusiveness. And so all the boys would have to wear a dress for the day to know what it's like to be a girl, a woman, a transgender, gender fluid, whatever it is. And he wouldn't do it. So I think he was being suspended with the possibility of thrown out because he wouldn't. And he said that was enough for him, and he vacated.
That's insane.
It doesn't sound real to me.
I know, right?
Like the litter box stuff. I was like, what's that? Like urban legend? No, it's not urban legend. That's real too. It's crazy.
They're losing it, man. It makes you more and more want to stay in your sane little circle, Jeremy had mentioned that something was knocked down. I'm guessing it was that warrantless search that he's talking about that might have been knocked down.
Well, I know the Colorado pet tax, as soon as it went to the House of the Senate, bam, that just went down. People, literally, so if you have guppies or you're breeding, fish or mice or gerbils or whatever, you're going to start incurring all these costs.
Right.
You have to, go through stuff, keep records where the animals are going, but all this different kind of crap. It's so intrusive. Like in New Jersey, like every animal you sell, they want you to keep a record of who got it, what they got. But a lot of times the customers are like, no, I will not give you my information. So It's still voluntary, but the pet store or dealer or whatever has to still request it and everything. So now they're telling them when they go to a reptile show, if they go out of state, they still have to get all that information because the business is still in New Jersey.
Oh, man.
Insane.
It is. So for everybody that's watching this and going, oh, my God, I can't believe it. Oh, this is dumb. And if you don't have a US ARC membership, what are you thinking? Yeah, definitely need to have everybody on board with that. I've been sending letters to my House representative as well over some stuff just because the world's getting so insane. Let's see. So that was the South Carolina bill that was the next one on the list. I don't think that one was so bad. That was, I think it's more geared towards wildlife rehabilitators and local wildlife. I was talking with Jeremy about it the other day. He said it wasn't really geared towards pet keeping and stuff. Let's see. I don't know. We'll have to find out from him too what the Washington animal program ban is looking like. So, God, this list is getting long, dude.
It's too much. And they're going to wear us out because we do get worn out. Even myself at times.
Right.
It keeps coming in succession. We're like, that's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen here. And then all of a sudden that falls and this falls and this falls. And every one of those wins collectively are the fuel to their engine.
Yeah.
We just have the National Humane Society. We have the Center for Biological Diversity. We have all of this anti-pet, obviously PETA, HSUS, all that.
Right.
But Center for Biological Diversity is a monster because that's owned and governed by Andy Sabin, and Andy Sabin made his billion in heavy, like precious metals.
Yeah.
So he's very, very wealthy, and he has an attorney, a woman attorney who is quite stifled in her ideas of things. I've tried to work that before talking to Andy, and he just said, "Hey, she's my attorney. It's Kevin. I have to believe her before I'm going to believe you, and I have to make my decision." And that's that.
Well, that's all of the U.S. ARC stuff. We can get all that shit out of the way. So radical reptiles. I don't know if you can see the comments and stuff like that from there. I don't know if you can read them or not.
I can't see any comments on my end.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll rattle them off. So radical retakes a monitor said, "Yo, Kevin, we love your I love you and your socializing techniques are the best."
I love to hear that. That always makes me smile. It's come a long way from how I was received, because there was a time years ago I was laughed at and scoffed at, and I was belittled. There was a site called Cyber Salvatore, monitors, right. And that monitor people and all this different stuff. And I went on there and I started just showing some of my socialization and the brains of these animals. Oh my God, did they mock me?
Really?
It was so bad. So bad. And I wasn't even prepared for that. And they just all jumped on me and were just ridiculing me about my animals. And my animals were acting this way because they're sickly or because they're cold or because they're hungry or
right.
dying. So I went through all that stuff, and I actually created a Facebook group called Urban Dinosaur. And that was, I had like 25,000 plus members of it, and no live feed videos, and it was all things to do with lizards and whatnot.
Right.
And that was a really good group, and it was really busy. And then people would go in there, and your mods are trying to navigate all these jerks that are going in there and posting like Black Lives Splatter or whatever this nonsense. They're creating problems.
Right.
And we got pulled saying that we violated the terms of service because somebody posted something and maybe got past a mod. To this day, I don't know. They just sent me a picture of a trash can, and it's showed Urban Dinosaur deleted.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Really discouraging. But yeah, my techniques and all that stuff. It was definitely the topic of a lot of goofing on me, and very nasty too. Just ridiculous. And I was very confident in what my beliefs were and my success. And now maybe it's 10 years later, 8 years later, so many people like that comment right there. They're using the techniques and it works. I love that, especially if I can articulate my ideas and turn it into some kind of methodology, and then the person understand it. Then I'm giving a narrative that is actually you can interpret and actually work. And then somebody does that. I love it.
Oh, it's great. It's great, man. And, like I was kind of saying on the phone earlier, not to gush and shit like that. But I mean, if it wasn't for you, I don't know. I may still be on YouTube, but I wouldn't be as good at it because I wouldn't be as good at the animals because as soon as I got into retics and monitor lizards and all that stuff, I just meditated on all your handling videos, just watched it, absorbed it, and then turned around and had the opportunity to use it in thousands of interactions with these massive animals. And, I've said more than once, you saved me from many, many stitches.
I love it.
It's great, man. And it just kind of landed on me. I was like, well, shit, if I can watch something and learn it, implement it, and do it, and I get all this unique experience with these big animals, and why don't I get on YouTube and start doing the same thing? Because we can't have enough of us on here doing responsible stuff,
Yeah, I don't think there's probably a real lot of it. I've never seen any, at least like when I came up with the way I do it, I've never seen anybody do anything. So I just my friend Rafi Martinez, who was videotaping me for like ball pythons, would watch me with the lizards, and he's like, "How are you not getting attacked?" You know, and how this, and I was just like goofing around, and he's like, "You need to show people that," and I didn't really think a lot of it. He's like, "That's like ridiculous," and that's, of course, we started doing a couple videos, and I got attacked, but I think a few of my successes is to break it down where they live in modes, like the 4 modes, and identify the mode before you present yourself to it, and maybe get it to shift out of one mode into the right mode. And then threads, thinking about threads, because if I go, okay, today you're going to tame your lizard, that's going to leave people with great expectations, and I'm always going to fail. But if I say we just created a thread, that little thread collectively is a rope. So you make a thread, you make another thread, another thread. Before long, you're like, wow, I did some things today. And then a week later, I'm like, I'm over here now. I was over here and I couldn't even do this. But because I thought and I listened to you, and remember, these animals, they're recording. They're recording this experience. And if you have them in fear mode, they're going to be a lot of irrational, erratic craziness, and you're going to actually build, potentially a negative thread. So you need to coax them out of that, even if you can get them into a thinking position for 10 seconds, and you do something, and you get the animal to respond to you, and then you remove yourself from that. That is a thread. 10 seconds, and even that little forward movement is something that will be tangible and something that will be noticed maybe in the next week or so.
Right. Yeah, that was why I was so excited to get to Sri Lankan. Again, Aubrey went and picked him up from him, and I mean that little snake, he hadn't been working with him or anything like that. What do you want anyone? I mean, he's hooking him out, put him in a tub, and he's losing his mind and all that.
He's terrified. He usually uses chainmail and gloves. But it's so crazy because people think he's like this great retic breeder, which he is. He just uses body armor all the
time. You're gonna have to, hey Aubrey, man, next time I come over, you're gonna have to show me your room with all your body armor and stuff. I've seen the snakes. No, he's got some really awesome animals over there. He's got some really amazing stuff. But yeah, I mean, that was the whole thing with the Sri Lankan was just, I know I was trying to focus really hard on just making sure that at the end of the episode, he wasn't freaking out and he was chill, as chill as humanly possible. So he kind of left on a good note.
Very critical. And if you leave where it's still thinking, Tim, they download that. All of a sudden, and it goes into the brain, and then it starts changing. And it is so critical. You can monitor lizards. They'll just do all this stuff, and all of a sudden stop and go, or they lick this down the side of their mouth, and that's like, huh. And as soon as they do that, just downloaded all the information.
Yeah. It's awesome. I'm still working on that with my Nile monitor. The Asian water monitor just got here is pretty good. My Nile has been a challenge.
Yeah, they are. So they're obviously, no, not a little bit, but they're a lot more reactive than the mind of a Salvadori, a water monitor. A water monitor, in my opinion, is rather genius. Very, and it's like these bigger lizards, it's the confidence. It's the confidence of, when the animal is this 5 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot monster, very confident, just like a big Komodo dragon. And when you get that, they're quicker to get to a thinking state than the reactiveness, where you look at like a Nile monitor, and the whole thing is like they're sneaking in the croc nest and stealing the eggs, and it's all that. So they have this very, very strong reactive nature.
Yeah.
You got to get that Nile monitor confident enough to trust the situation and allow you some kind of liberty. Yeah,
he does really good with that most of the time. His thing is he's kind of like a puppy that wants to test everything with his mouth. Anytime I'm in there with anything, I was building that door on the enclosure so that I could split it off. I'd go in there with a 2x4. He'd come up to it and take a bite out of it.
Yeah, that's definitely rough. When you feed him, how do you manage your feeding?
Most of the time it's in a food dish.
Okay,
I'll bring the food dish.
So he goes over and discovers it on his own.
Oh, okay. He sees me coming in. He knows what it looks like, and as soon as I open the door, I mean, there's been times where he's like shot out of the tub like a torpedo, coming at me with his mouth open. Really highly food motivated. He sees the food and he starts coming for it.
That's rough when they're just coming at you with the mouth open. That's a little hard to. We got to break that, because there's so your movement, and every time you just continue to do that, you're fortifying that association. It's almost, I wonder if you could create like a food station that's got a slide top. You go in there and put a box. You got a string. So once you've left the food,
well, he doesn't do that all the time. It's really rare that he'll actually like come chase at me. Sure. Typically, what happens is I'll go in and he's got the platform over there, and I'll come in with the food dish and set the food down there, and he's right on it, you know. So there was just a couple times where it caught me as funny because he was really motivated that day. And he shut out. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to come to you. But I think I might have actually instigated that a little bit, because I was letting him come to the door and eat, and I was kind of sitting there tongue feeding him and stuff like that. And so that broke up his routine from having that one place to eat. And now all of a sudden, okay, well, I can go to the door and eat now. So I think he just kind of jumped the gun on me. But he's still really, like I say, he just tests everything with his mouth. So
it is, after all, Nile monitor, and not infamous. A little bit monstrous. Some of them. I've at least had a few Nile monitors in my day were quite good. Quite good. You know? One of them being pretty much, very much like a water monitor.
Right. I've seen a couple of them that are really chill.
I think that was unique to that animal, but much higher level of not want to be cooperative. And I just don't think it's like the perfect pet species compared to a water monitor.
Yeah, absolutely. He's challenging. But the cool thing about him too is once I get him outside on the leash, he's a friggin' puppy dog. He'll get up, sit on my lap. It's just one of those things where he just needs to be fed so much, and he's so reactive and so interactive with his environment. Once I get him outside, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, there's enough going on in my brain to keep me busy now, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
Which is really awesome.
That's a win.
Oh, yeah. He's a good dude. Aubrey put up, Kevin needs to be making some T-negative red tail rats.
Yeah, he's right. He's establishing. But yeah, my red tail rat snake, he's right.
What else we got here? Oh, Michael was asking what brand of guitar you play.
What do I play? Right now, an Epiphone, but I play, I play Jackson. I play Schecters. I like Schecters a lot. I really like Explorers, Gibson Explorers. I have Gibson Les Pauls. I have certainly Stratty, Ibanez stuff. I have a lot of different stuff. But I'm pretty comfortable on Schecters, Ibanez Destroyers. I like Ibanez Destroyers a lot. I like that body style. This is I don't think this is the gnarliest looking guitar, because I'm a total mess. So, but this guitar is really good for noodling and stays in tune really well. And it's one of my go-to guitars just to pick up and grab. But it changes. It really does. I'm not particular to one thing. I have a nice ESP Alexi Leho Jackson V style kind of thing that I like quite a bit. So I'm all over the place, but I'm not like just one kind of thing.
There we go. Let's see. Oh, Peanuts World of Reptiles. He said, those are the videos we want to see. Keep the socializing videos coming.
Yeah, I have to do some more of those. I've been doing a lot of my bubblegum videos. I had a problem with YouTube. YouTube was pretty much deeming my content as dangerous or something.
Right.
And it really bummed me out, turned me off. I got really discouraged because I like to do socialization. I like to do some medical stuff. I want to teach people, of all the jelly beans that are banging around in my head and my idea. Put some of that out there and try to make a difference. Do something that is tangible, something that helps somebody that actually helps animals. Because my ultimate goal is animals. And they really discouraged me. See, Facebook and YouTube ganged up on me. I don't think my content is dangerous or whatever it is. But YouTube really put me on a timeout. And then Facebook, I had 255,000 likes, and they took it down.
It's insane.
And there's no recourse. I'm like, what did we possibly do? I didn't do like anything. And take an antibiotic shot, whatever the hell it is. Don't know. And I'm arguing with AI. I don't get to talk to a person. I've never been able to talk to a person. It took me years to build that, and it's gone. So I'm just starting to recover now mentally. Yeah, it's just been a lot of trying things, and but I need to do some socialization videos. But I'm doing the bubblegum videos, and I'm being prolific in that. So that means there's going to be some socialization coming too. So I'm socializing things all the time. It's a room full of animals. Thank God they're socialized.
Right. I know, right? Yeah, there's really not too many people out there doing really significant socializing stuff. Mainly because it doesn't get a whole lot of attention. Doesn't get a lot of attention as the dramatic stuff that we really don't want out there. So
yeah, it's like when I had Donnie filming me. Right now I just can't afford him, but he would be like, "This is so boring. You're gonna sit here and you're gonna pet him and do this and move it." And I was like, "How about I beat you? Like, like people want to see this." And he's like, "Yeah, 10,000. You'll get 10,000 people that want to see it." He wants 250,000. He wants 500,000. So, I mean, right now I'm just gonna have to try to survive on the smaller group of people without doing stuff too crazy. Yeah, but there's more of that stuff.
Yeah, Donnie and I had a little exchange in the chat on one video one time, I remember. it was something to the effect of, and I don't remember how the conversation was going ahead of time, but it was something to the effect of, I watch as long as Kevin's putting out, socializing stuff, talking about the animals and all that. I was like, as soon as the drama starts, click, and I go off to someplace else, kind of letting him know that.
Well, just for, to be clear here, a lot of the drama stuff is me. I direct a lot of that drama. When I go after somebody, that's usually me.
Mm-hmm.
And because I went after live feed video people.
Right.
I did that. I went after the reptile channel that was swallowing baby rats and stuff that put us in a bad light. I go after generally things that put us in a bad light. I went after Adrian Walton, a vet up in Canada. I called him Dr. Death. That's me. We're going after Florida FWC. Yeah, that's my interest.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got it. There's people aren't calling people out. They're doing bad stuff. FWC they scare the hell out of all the keepers down there, and the keepers down there can't say anything because if they do, they get nailed. I mean, not all the drama, but there's definitely, I'm the one who is the great.
But I could always kind of tell the difference when it was something like that you actually felt something about, and something that Donnie was putting out for attention, because you could kind of tell the difference between those things. That was kind of what I was.
Well, Donnie's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's trying to stir the waters. He's very good at directing that attention to whatever, and we really, we honed our skills. And we honed our skills initially by going after the reptile channel, because they were big on YouTube.
I remember that.
And oh my God, people are going to think this is what reptile keepers do. And I was mortified. And I was like, how is nobody saying anything about this? And you didn't really have a good way to contact YouTube. I was trying to contact YouTube. I'm like, all right, we're going to do a video, and we're going to attack them and show what they do. And then Donnie did the deep dive, and I didn't know about this, but there's a fetish, vor, eating things alive or being eaten.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. So there you go.
Yeah, that was rough. I know I've done 2 of them. There was one on that tarantula girl where she was putting out with her retics, where it was, moving them from enclosure to enclosure, just necking their retics instead of handling them. I mean, they just go into these just terrible enclosures, pull the animals out, have them, hold them by the necks and shit like that, just dangling them by their necks, 10, 12 foot. Yeah. So I put one of those out. That was my first year. I've been doing this 2 years now, but yeah, I put out a video on that the first year I was out. And they had like 50,000 subs or something like that. I did that one, and then did the talk where Kagan and I talked about Slither. But outside of that, yeah, try to stay away from as much as I can. But I mean, it's that balance, man. It's just like John and I from Tipping Scales was talking about a while back. I mean, we want to bring stuff to light, and then we've got the other side of the coin where if we spend all our time bringing stuff to light, how do we walk that balance to where people don't get such a negative impression of keepers because you hear so much of it, but in the same light, you still got to talk about it. So it's just that weird balance that we got to try and keep.
Well, I for one, I'm so non-invested in my social media stuff. I just take my phone out, start filming, and I just yak, and then I go upload, and then bing, bang, boom, and because I don't like social media, I can't stand it.
Right.
So much fakery, and I just like anybody. You've done something, you say something, you're showing something, and then you get those 4, 5, 20 negative comments about somebody's interpretation of something being an elitist, something that is just so not realistic. And they go and piss in your swimming pool, and you're like, you know what? I don't dealing with you today because you're so unfair at just your assessment of something. I get offended if you call me some greedy reptile breeder that only cares about the money, because pretty much most things that I do are not centered around money. They're centered about betterment of the hobby, keep trying to get us together, being smarter, learning more, sharing things, encouraging each other, enjoying the animals, the welfare of the animals, keeping the laws to a minimum, and you get these jerks that just come in there and just pissing all over my swimming pool. Sometimes.
I say some choice. I'm kind of lucky in that respect because I got 800 subs right now. So I don't have as much exposure to draw as many meatheads into my comments. Once you're up over 500,000, almost 1 million or whatever you're at. Yeah. You're going to attract some attention of every meathead that that, ever looks up anything about a reptile. That's got to be frustrating to see those come through.
Yeah, they can. A lot of times I just imagine a switch and I just shut the switch off. I'm like, I'm not a pacifist. I'm pretty, I want to fight. I want to fight really bad. So the switch, so I don't fight.
Yeah.
That's it. I try to be passive, but it sometimes, it's I have to be purposeful in my.
I'm right there with you. You just want to strangle people sometimes, and it's like, okay, I can find this bastard's IP. I can't believe this. I'm about to go kill somebody.
And I don't mind people dissing me for quality reasons. I'm fallible. I make mistakes, blah, 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 blah. But to call you out or say things and cast these nasty things that are not even like based on like remote reality, that's when I really they think I'm this. They think I'm
Yeah, I've been really fortunate so far, and I'm sure as the channel gets bigger, I'll run into it more and more often. I really think so far over the last 2 years, I can count on one hand, maybe two, the number of really negative comments that I've gotten on stuff. But I mean, the cool thing is, man, is everybody keeps me honest. One of the first videos I put out was on my prairie dogs, and
I love prairie dogs.
Oh man, they're amazing.
So you probably do know this, that a female is only reproductive in the wild for 5 hours one time a year.
Yep.
5 hours.
I know. I've heard it's less than that, but I know it's a really brief period of time.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if that's why she hates me. There's got to be a reason for it, because my male loves me. Male prairie dog just loves me to death. I'll take him out, scratch him, he's all happy. My female will come up and she'll act really nice for about 30 seconds, and then she bites me.
that bite is no joke.
Oh, dude. Yeah. And she doesn't let go. Like the last time she bit me, I was holding her, rubbing her. I went to put her back in. As she was crawling off my arm, she just latched in. Teeth came together under my skin. She flopped over, and I picked my arm up, and she's hanging there, and that hurt.
And your feelings get hurt. It's because you have an animal that is not reliable in the trust. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because a lot of our snakes and our lizards, they're actually quite reliable.
Right.
But you get like birds, when birds do certain things, they detect weakness, or they have more like people emotions where they're like bitter for something, they're frustrated. I don't think like the average, if I take a snake out, I don't think the thing just starts out being frustrated at me or whatever. But I think, as we go up the vertebrate ladder, we start dealing with all these emotions, and prairie dogs are very, very emotional,
Yeah. Really smart. And every time I cough in here, I'll hear them up there barking at me and all that, and responding to me. And every time I'm walking by or something like that, they'll do it. It's friggin' awesome. But Ruth, who also is a really big fan of yours, who wanted me to say hello, she doesn't have any problem with her. She can take her out and mess with her all day long. Never has to worry about getting bit.
But you got to wonder, is that a female to a male thing? So it obviously it smells. Ruth is female, so we have female has different hormones, different smells, and it could be estrogen, it could be whatever. I don't know. I can only guess. But you'll have birds like where a male bird hates a woman, or vice versa. And I've heard that. They pick it.
Yeah, they're cool fact about those prairie dogs. I was reading a study that says they've got the most sophisticated language about any animal outside of humans.
That's I believe it. They got all these different predators, and they all work as sentries to the benefit of the colony, blah, blah, blah. But there's all sorts of that hierarchy. Let's face it, everything wants to eat them. I oh God, I made the big mistake watching some of these. So YouTube videos where they show people shooting them from like far away, and they're like, oh, it's a good, they were literally, it's a good family activity. We get some pop, we shoot some prairie dogs. They're like blowing these prairie dogs
Yeah.
up. They never even go to collect the prairie dog. They shoot them from far away, and it's like a son, a daughter, and I'm like, I would run you people over.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good wholesome thing for me, because
Right.
this wanton animal just horrific to me. It's like
right. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what actually happens in somebody's brain that thinks it's cool to just go and kill something for the sake of killing it. I mean, you know how it goes. Keeping animals, sometimes we got to kill stuff, and man, it kills me. I hate it, you know?
Well, you have to have value for it. And that, to us, when you see somebody just wanton killing, that means that there was thought of value of that animal. There's never thought that that animal suffers pain. It has emotions, it has needs, it has whatever. It's an animal. So it's in an environment where basically its rights are very, very low. Because if whoever can do whatever they want, and it's, it could be used as a resource, or it could be hunted. So they're already doing terrible. Now they get all these predators. They're in habitats that are constantly declining in value and size. And then people do that. Like I'm the kind of person, if you go in front of me and you purposely stomp on some ants, you're going to probably get some of my wrath. Yeah. And I don't play, like if you actually piss me off, Jeremy will tell you, if you piss me off, I can turn into a different creature. And if you're just being cruel for no reason, and I see that, then I kind of feel like I can start being cruel to you.
Right. Yeah. There's especially for those of us that have got a background in fighting, military, things like that, really intimate with cruelty and how much more humans deserve it than animals do.
Yeah, I like fighting.
So. Yeah, I spent my first 2 years after high school living in a martial arts school.
Yep, I've done a lot of martial arts.
Yeah, and it just kept going all the way through the military and all that stuff. So it's taken me. I got out of the military in 2005, and it took me. I don't even know if I'm still completely socially acceptable. Some of my guys at work may have different opinions about it, but it takes a long time to get yourself to the point where you can completely shut down that fight response and be civil.
Yeah, I guess my thing is I'm a little bit confident, so my mouth will start cashing some checks or whatever. And if I can calm myself down, generally I think as you do martial arts, you actually don't even feel the need to like get into that fight with them.
Right.
At least I think that's the way it is. But of course, there's always going to be situations.
Well, I mean, it was always kind of expressed to me with the philosophy is there's no honor in engaging in a fight that you already know you're going to win. At that point, you just need to be smart enough to figure out another way to deal with it. For me, it's just I don't want to go to jail.
Got it. I play with animals. No hands on anybody. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Rocco was just saying here a second ago. Well, I don't know if it was a second ago. I'm probably way behind on comments. Said Kevin was one of the reasons why I got into the reptile hobby, and you are one of the people that strengthened my love for reptiles even more than it was back then.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have a lot of people in my audience. I guess I have to call them voyeurs. And these people watch me, and there's a lot of them. They watch me, and they don't even keep reptiles.
Yeah.
So they're like, this guy's a clown. Like, for some reason, I'm interesting to them. And I can understand it, but I don't kind of understand it. I'm not going to go and watch somebody talk about finances if I don't, you know?
Yeah. I'm not going to watch anybody knit for a couple hours if I have no intention of knitting anything. Well, I mean, I've got a couple of folks in there too that there are probably a few in the chat right now that are the same way. You know, they're like, I don't even keep animals. It's cool to see them.
Yeah, I don't really know what it is. Them, it's just probably a mystery. And then I talked about the animals and how I interpret the animals. And I think maybe that helps them better understand that mystery. And it's, you know, it's interesting. Always these people like Ants Canada, Mikey. I like just listening to Mikey talk.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know. I have people that like to listen to me talk. I don't hear any of that. I'm like just bah.
Yeah.
But to some people, I guess there's something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I could go my whole life and not have to listen to me bump my gums about anything. It's that lack of vanity or something. I don't know.
Well, so I tend to actually, if I record something and put it up, I will go and listen to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always trying to be a better speaker, a better educator. So I don't want to use things like I've gotten pretty good about not saying but I'll say stuff and like. And I'm like, oh no, why are you doing that? And as I watch it, I critique myself. And I've gotten fairly decent at being able to just spit it out because everything is done the first take, and I never know what I'm gonna do. You know, it's not written, it's not planned, it's not anything. I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna pick it up, and can I still keep like a mental outline of what I'm actually trying to get out there? Because I've heard people try to explain things, and I watch them kind of meander around, and then like I don't quite understand like what I'm trying to learn.
Right.
And I'm talking about the ideas of understanding and reading behavior and then introducing yourself into that animal's environment and don't get savaged by that animal. And I have to put a lot of it into words, especially if I'm holding a camera. I you know, I can't film a lot of this stuff. I probably, you know, need to get an iPhone harness or some stupid thing like this.
Right.
But it's half-ass. That's all.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with me, just stream of consciousness, you know. And I'll just go off with no script and just start running my mouth, and then I sit here and premiere for another hour afterwards, saying like, okay, this is where you forgot how to speak, and and then try and clean it up after the fact. It's my motivation to try and become a better speaker is to just shorten my editing time, and I ain't got to cut out so much dumb shit out of it.
I used to be terrified. I grew up very, very shy, and like, okay, Kevin, go up and talk about your science project, and I was like, this is the worst thing ever. I'm like whatever, and I was terrified. And remember being musician going on stage, and I'm like, oh my God, and I want to turn around and I don't want to look at people, and I forced myself to just get over it. Get over it. And you kind of are in this state where you're really sucking because you're nervous, but you're trying to do it. And then you start listening to yourself and you're like, oh God, I got to be better. And somewhere along the line, it just got better. And I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. If you look back at what you did 2 years ago, you know, the first 6 months versus, you know, how smooth you are now. And it's making things much easier for your audience.
Yeah. And that's the key thing. Cause I remember the very first thought, like I made the very first video before I even made this channel, and I had it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a YouTube and I'm going to put it out there. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. You're going to go on here talking about snakes, and every person in the world who knows 10 times more than about snakes is going to see it. You know, and it's like, as soon as you put those first few out there, you just wait for it. Wait for somebody to come up and say, dude, you're an idiot. Shut up. Quit making videos.
Yeah. When I do the medical videos, you know, because I have vets and vet techs and doctors and nurses in my audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never really been given much of a hard time. If anything, I get pretty good comments because I'm versed enough that the basic concept of it is I'm achieving that.
Right.
But you know, I don't want to sound like Kamala Harris when I talk. And that bitch, listening to that thing talk, I hate. I'm like, what language is this person talking? Got people like, and I'm like, you need to stop doing that. And then, so I see that, and then I look at myself, and I'm like, Kevin, you got to clean yourself up. You can't be doing that.
Yeah.
It works. You can stop saying, Well,
it helps too. The more comfortable I found, the more comfortable I get, the more I do it, then the easier it is to not do the ums and likes and all that other shit, because you're actually relaxed and focused on your train of thought, instead of like get 2 words out of your mouth and you're like, oh damn, do I sound like an idiot? No, let me do that again.
I learned, you know, talking in front of, like, you know, the House and Senate, fighting some of these laws. I see people go out there and they're all prepared. They're dressed up. They're all prepared. They got their sheets of paper and blah, blah, blah. And here I am, like, I got my baseball cap on backwards. I'm not really dressed. I mean, look at my knee. See? And I'm like, I don't know really what I'm going to talk about. And I'll be like completely ill prepared. And I tend to shine when that, because I'm just sitting here listening and I'm recording these things and I make my bullet points and I'm watching how the people are acting and receiving what they're saying. And I'm like, oh my God, if I go up there and just stick to bullet points and it become very dry, I'm going to bore my audience. Mm-hmm. So now my channel has, you know, I have my subs and stuff. So there's a bit of an art, I guess, to speaking in a way that, you know, you captivate people. I have people that like to listen to me just talk. Mm. And I think, you know, part of that is just because I've gotten a bit better at it. But when they give me the criticisms and they tell me what they do like, they're allowing me to focus on how to even be better. Mm. And, you know, constantly just, you know, I'm an idiot, and I just want to, you know, be better so people can digest my material and ultimately succeed in whatever their endeavor is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been an interesting experience getting out, and it was really weird for me last year when I went up to Garrett's place for Retic Fest. You know, to walk up and have these people that I had no idea who in the hell they were. Hey Tim, how you doing? Like, that was the first time that I'd actually been out in a social setting after kind of being in the public eye, you know, and people knowing me that I don't know them. And so that was kind of weird. That takes a little bit of getting used to.
It can definitely be nice. But, you know, I guess you just want to be appreciated for your content and changing people's lives, because let's face it, a lot of people in our audiences have a lot of problems that they're going through, and they want to lose themselves in what we're talking about. And I am fixated on Tiffany Henyard, this super mayor out of Illinois, the most corrupt politician in the world. I'll tell you, if you guys don't know who Tiffany Henyard is, look up super mayor of Dalton Township, Dalton County.
Yeah.
I sit there and watch a horrible person getting away with everything, and I can lose myself in all my problems because this person is going to ultimately get in a lot of trouble. But we need to lose ourselves, you know, in whatever we're watching, because we're practicing escapism. Mm-hmm. I practice that a fair bit.
Yeah. I mean, I take care of my problems. I take care of, Work is work. Get it done. I'm brain dumping after the fact. Try not, if you're not in a position where you're actively able to affect it, forget it until the next time you are. That keeps my blood pressure down. Pamela here, I want to get through a couple of these. Pamela was asking if we had any plans on doing a membership drive for US ARC at any time.
Well, if you're asking this to me, I've done some of this in the past. I've just I've been helping like Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Florida became kind of like front and center. Obviously, I'll help US ARC whenever they need it. If I just keep spouting off about this law and that law, eventually people are going to go like, Jesus, Kevin is just constantly complaining about this. Yeah. So sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like doing things and arguing and trying to get people going. And then I'm like, are you people awake? Are you even? So I will periodically have to remove myself.
Yeah.
So, and right now I've been dealing with a lot of challenges trying to run Nerd, and
right.
That in itself is just, the overhead is just beyond belief.
Oh, I'm sure.
And, the money in versus the money out, we definitely have a disproportion.
Right.
So I would have started getting involved in the Colorado thing, but it got squashed as soon as it came out. I was horrified, and I was worried because it was just terrible. But it got taken down.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, and if Pamela was asking about my end of it too, Jeremy's down here in North Carolina. He's like an hour away from me, and he's a US ARC guy now. So North Carolina is going to have some US ARC stuff going on. Jeremy and I have talked back and forth about, we're going to collaborate on some stuff, but you know how schedules go. We'll get to it as time permits. And if you guys, anything that's going on out here in North Carolina that anybody watching wants to see, just jump on the Facebook page, and anything that I do out here, educational event, US ARC wise, that all goes on Facebook, so we can get people. And I typically make videos about stuff too. So there is, just to answer your question, Pamela. There is stuff that's going to be going on. So we just don't know what it is yet or when it's going to be. Let's see if I can scroll through. I know I'm probably 200 comments behind, and all of the cool stuff that you guys are saying, and we appreciate it. A lot of folks really complimentary, of course. Kevin, the evil morph god thing comes from the reptile keeper deity, so that's why you hear so much good stuff. Let me see. I'm just gonna scroll through really quickly. DSC Reptiles was saying he wanted to thank you for his relationship with his tegu and snakes in general.
I like that.
Tracy said, I need to get one of your black dragons. And when Aubrey dropped the Asian water monitor off here this last Saturday, planning on just kind of a temporary thing just to make some videos, some educational stuff with, but I'm planning on probably in a couple months being attached to it, and I'll just have to buy them off of you. I'm stupid with my animals, man. I just cannot let them go. That's why I don't buy a whole lot of animals, because once I get them, I've got such a small collection here. I get attached to them, and I don't want to get rid of them. So.
I know about that.
Let's see. Just to see. Do any of you guys know which of Kevin's handling videos focus on ball pythons? Quick search didn't show anything definitive. He's got a lot of videos to sift through.
So handling ball pythons, watch snake socialization 101. And I deal with reticulated pythons because it's all applicable. Ball pythons maybe a little bit more head shy. And you know that when that animal's coming out and the tongue flick's going and it's moving forward, that is the appropriate, just balled up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Decided, you know, just being shy is going to be
Right.
the safe way. You can't do too much except for sit down and watch TV for 2 hours and touch it, and you desensitize that animal just by touching it. But I think I have like reptile psychology videos.
Mm-hmm.
Look for those.
Yeah.
And I really do. I mean, look, anything to do with retics, because all the retic stuff is applicable.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything of handling retics will definitely carry over to any kind of snake. So they all work pretty much the same. So Alex was asking, what makes a Nile monitor lizard different from working with other monitors?
Well, it's, you know, it's just how in the wild how they live. You know, they're going up on these big open savannas and they're robbing things, and then they're always using the water as their way out. Their mind, they're less trusting than a water monitor. So if I talk about reactiveness, and we have thinking and we have reactiveness. If reactiveness precedes thinking, you then get all this irrational, crazy behavior.
Right.
And if you put thinking in front of that, or if you do irrational behavior quickly into thinking, like a water monitor, they can just put it all together. And Nile monitors stay in the this irrational window much longer, in theory, than a water monitor does. A water monitor pretty much assess and go right into a thinking mode. The Nile monitor is like so paranoid. It's just got this level of paranoia.
Yeah.
That makes it just, far less.
Yeah, it's that difference. The difference of in Africa, they've got a lot more predators to deal with.
Well, like Nile crocs,
right.
Water and these things, they want to get eaten.
Right. Yeah, the Asian water monitors, of course, they're going to get a little bit bigger. They don't have quite as many predators over in Asia as you do in the savannah. So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Asian water monitors are a lot more commonly bred here than Nile monitors are.
Yeah,
generational, reactiveness too.
Yeah, people don't breed, Nile monitors because they're not nearly the animal that a water monitor is generally. And the value of them, we can get farmed babies, not really farmed, but babies that are, hatched at a facility, or they catch the babies after they've hatched. And that's, a very inexpensive way to get your hands on, one of these little Niles.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that go into the differences between Niles and Asian water monitors. Alex, I love the kangaroo. I'd love to have a kangaroo if they wouldn't gut you. He's got a kangaroo on his profile picture. So I'm certain you can't see that. I'm looking at this on a TV in front of me. So, but yeah, Tracy was telling Judd that he's got Kevin does have a ton of videos. I don't know how many hundreds he's got on there, but you look up any kind of socializing, you'll be able to find it. Oh, can't get so far behind. Ethan Bird. Ethan wanted to know what your thought on croc monitors are.
Love them. I love them. A bunch of them. Wonderful. So they're in the same park as water monitors, and they're more reactive than the water monitor, and they're really, really alert. But water monitors are really alert, and they will spend more time in that ready to react to you as opposed to think. But the trick with croc monitors, and mind you, croc monitors can give you serious injury, severe injury. If you do not know what you're doing, you will get punished.
Yep.
Really. Water monitors are more forgiving in that way. The croc monitors and lace monitors have a very straight saber tooth that's got a cutting edge, and they just these long daggers.
Yeah.
Water monitors have more of a conical
Right.
tooth. There's some blades on some of them, but it's a conical tooth. So when they bite you, you got, you know, the crazy pressure and all that. But croc monitors just nail you, and it's like, oh
my God. Vicious animals, man. Vicious teeth.
The way to win croc monitors is touching them.
Mm-hmm.
Touching. And I do videos on how you can approach. I mean, you can't approach a croc monitor that just comes running at you, because you're just going to stick your fist in its face and you're going to get. But once you got it where they're tolerating you, they're very, very aware of your eyes. So I do like the kind of look away thing. And I'm, you know, my hand out here. I've done it with Photo Dragon, and it all works. But your hand has to be as presented in the least way that you would get any kind of injury. So no fingers, you don't do this.
Right.
No power over it. Get the croc monitor, you know, get down to its level or get it up to your level and let it study you. And they'll flick their tongue and touch you and chase the air and all that. But usually if I get my fist under the chin and I can just do that, and then I make the little baby rubs under the chin, and all of a sudden the tongue starts going rapid, the eyes starts going, you're winning. Right there, all changes. That's when you start creating that relationship with the croc. Obviously, there's a lot more to this. Right. One thing, Tim, and I know you understand this because I watched you do it. When you were dealing with your Sri Lankan, you didn't act like you were afraid to get bit. And never, ever, I always have a thing. Don't act like you're going to get hurt. Don't act like you're going to get bit. And by not acting that way, I tend to suffer less injury. I play guitar. I'm into like, you know, lots of hand articulation. I don't need that garbage in my life. And you flow, being comfortable, but a lot of stuff is your eyes. Your eyes bring a lot of fear. And if you are worried, you emanate a bad juju. And the animals pick up on it. You go in there, no problem, just flow. I feel like some of these animals I could probably do blindfolded. Yeah. I really do, because I will just do things that I'm not worried about. And and that comes with experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I think being afraid of something, you're just compelled to keep your eyes laser focused on it. If you're afraid of it, you're not going to look away, because you're afraid as soon as you look away, you're going to get hit.
A good one, I did a video a couple months ago on croc monitors. We got a croc monitor that this guy had since his little baby, and the thing annihilated his hand.
Oh.
Blew him up. He had to get stitches and everything. And the guy's like, the thing's a monster. I don't want it, whatever. So we got it. And I made friends with that. I started making friends.
I watched that video.
Yeah. That thing was no joke. It would rush you and everything. And I broke down just getting to touch. And once I landed that touch, because the guy was always using gloves, and I'm just using my hand. And the croc monitor's like, wait a minute. Really? And I'm like, yep. And as soon as you do that, you're winning. Or does you make such gains?
Yeah, the only problem that I'm having with Niles getting over that is a couple years ago. That you may have heard this story, but I mean, a couple of years ago, I went into his enclosure, grabbed him up real quick, just set him on my shoulder, and he bit me in the back of the neck, got my spine in his mouth, and just kind of sat there for about 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. I'm not gonna let go. Angry. Yeah. I know that. God, that happened to me one time. I was looking for a female water monitor, and she was a jerk. I put my hand under the water and I couldn't see. She found my hand and bit me, and just bit me and twisted. And I'm like, oh my God. It just got me so good, and it would not let go.
They don't.
I tried to like, how am I going to get out of this? You start wiggling. It only made it hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing that I've got. I'm still worried about that. And it's crazy because I'll sit in there a lot of times, drink coffee in his enclosure and just chill out with him. And there's times that Niles will come up and he'll just slowly start crawling up, wanting to interact and stuff like that. And I've still got that hesitation from like 2 years ago from where he bit me in the back of the neck that I just can't seem to get over 100%. He's the only animal that I've still got any hesitation with. Like,
you know what your limitation is. And there could be things like the fact that it bit you and kind of twisted, that's not a food thing. That's like, I want to fuck you up thing.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm worried about you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in some cases, you have animals as far as you can take it. You'll never, ever going to fully win that animal. I don't like to necessarily give up on things like that. But, you know, if you do take liberties, it's not worth it. So I can go coochie coochie coo to my now one bites my finger.
Right.
You're just like, that wasn't worth it. This sucks.
Well, you know, and the way he acts when I interact with him, I think logically, I don't think he would really bite me because I know I just went up, snatched him up, threw him on my shoulder. He obviously didn't like that. You know, I probably, and thinking back about, you know, it's been 2 years ago since he's actually bit me, but it's still in the back of my head. Somehow that one animal got into my head and I'm just so cautious with him because.
Yeah. Well, that's between you and
right?
that. Sometimes you got to man up.
Yeah.
A lot of coochie coo under the chin, and just rubbing under that chin. That's so important. And push into the chest.
Yeah.
You know? Getting that hand down the neck, right into that chest, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that feels good." I mean, these are very much tactile animals. They really like to be loved on.
Yeah.
Wants to trust you.
Yeah, he probably does. I probably wouldn't get bit. Like I said, that's just something that's tweaked in here from having him latched onto my neck like that. We'll get over that at some point. One of these days, I'm just going to say, okay, screw it. We're just going to start working with you the way we used to. And if you bite me, then we'll deal with it then. Jeremy Wilcox from World of Wilcox jumped in, said his 2 favorite people. Hello, humans. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Tracy was mentioning the enclosure. That the new enclosure you got for the croc monitor, is that the same one that you'd taken in?
Which one?
The big enclosure. I think you put the croc monitors in it.
Yes, I have a croc monitor right now and a black dragon. I have 2 female smaller croc monitors that I want to put in there. And Fenrir thinks it's like his bachelor pad. So any girl that goes in there, I'm gonna terrorize it, try to breathe all day long, and then they got themselves through the top wire because they're like, "Oh my God, there's a monster here!" And they went up. So I just threw in one of my female black dragons, and he's over there, baby, and she's bigger. So she's like, "Stop your nonsense,
man."
So yeah, yep, it's like a 15, 16 foot long cage. It's got a big 500-gallon water tub in it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have had pictures. That's an awesome. I cannot wait, man. Hopefully, maybe we'll be able to get into a bigger place this summer. Cannot wait. I'm gonna have some enclosure building going on.
That's always takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
A lot more enclosures I have to build.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm never gonna have a huge enclosure or a huge facility that I say that, but it's hard to say. But as
soon as you start adding the most uncertain things in your life, employees, regret.
Yeah.
Lots.
Yep. So to say, man, I mean, we got Rob and Jeremy and Aubrey and Cody down here. You just need to pick up and move shop down to North Carolina, man. I keep saying I'm going to get all the reptile people in North Carolina where we got good laws.
And then, yeah, I don't know. Your laws keep getting challenged.
Well, the one thing that we did get hit with was the black and white tegu permit. They've been pretty decent about that. That's the only thing we've got so far, outside of the local ordinances, stuff like that. So, keeping my fingers crossed that it stays that way and North Carolina stays nice to us.
Well, South Carolina gets infected by Georgia, and North Carolina gets infected by South Carolina. So,
yeah. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully they hold off for a while. But I'm still working on. See, I figure if we get all the reptile people in the country out here to North Carolina and have like half of them get elected to public office, then we're good. Problem solved.
Those are dreams.
Then we'll have all reptile people making all the laws. So
I don't think that will be a reality. Those are horrible politicians doing what politicians do. Act horrible.
Yeah, I just don't understand. You see so much of that shit where people will pick their politician to worship. And it's like, none of these fuckers got any integrity at all.
What I really liked Trey Gowdy, I think, was he North Carolina, South Carolina? That was that guy. God, he used to be a lawyer, but he ended up being a senator. Trey Gowdy was pretty awesome, but he's from the Carolinas. But God, he was great. Listen to that guy. Really smart.
Really? Yeah, I wish they were all really smart. That would make me so much happier. Sitting back and listening to some of these people talk is just really, God, is mind numbing. It'll kill you. I'm going to go through here. I don't want to keep you on all night. We've already been on an hour and a half. It goes quick, but I'm looking.
Anybody got questions?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of scrolling through. I'll tell you guys what, man. Instead of going through and trying to read all of these comments that I missed, oh my God, I missed a lot of comments. Let's see. Okay, last comment I see is Rob Clark saying, well, tipping scales. PA is honestly the most lax laws. Okay, so now I see the last comment. Anything you guys have to ask that we may have missed, throw it out there, man. We'll try and catch a couple of these last minute questions and stuff before we head out.
And Aubrey, if you're still in the office, tomorrow I'm going to do the live FaceTime where I teach you how to socialize your baby ocelot retics. So, got your buddy, and thank you. The bank wire you sent me.
Yeah, if he's not on here still, I'll have to remind him of that next time I see him.
Oh, I'll remind him. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, got super chat. Terra Snake Treasures. She says she has an Ackie monitor I just brought home a little while ago. And it's because of both of you guys. That's awesome, man. See, I'll tell you what, man. That's one thing that every time I start getting tired or trying to figure out what to film and all that stuff, I'll get somebody jump down in the comments or something like that, man. It just like, it re-inspires me all over again. I love hearing that stuff.
I'm hearing that you have that effect on people and you have somebody that's inspired to actually, I mean, they're all in. You know, she bought an Ackie monitor. Now it's at home, so now she's responsible for that. And the longer she probably keeps it with probably some of your guidance, the more return she gets out of, like, wow, I understand this. And the more success you have, the more you're actually going to understand it. And it's kind of like it perpetuates itself.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love hearing stuff like that, man. It so much outweighs any of the negative that ever comes through. That's what we do it for. Oh, let's see. Fago says, when Crotalus going to tour?
Yeah. Oh, God. Don't even. I should have been a musician, like a real musician, but I just get so caught up in all my snake stuff. But I love music. There's, obviously I play a lot of music. I just got to I have to get a lot of this stuff out there for people to hear all the stuff that I write, because I
that's cool.
stuff. And
you and Gary Tarpley should get together, man.
Who's that?
Constricted and Addicted. He's in a band, and it's got a weird spelling, Navane. But yeah, he plays all the time. Big. He does a lot of U.S. Ark volunteer stuff. He actually talked with me before he was getting his first reticulated python, and now he's got, I don't know, 3 million of them. But he loves it. He got completely hooked. But yeah, he's plays in a rock band. Really good. I'll shoot you a link to his stuff.
Yeah, I like to hear that.
Yeah, he's awesome. Great guy, and of course he's a big fan of yours too, being retics. See, Maine Aquaria was asking if you were having any luck breeding Bolins.
So I've been raising a group. So Bolins take probably 5 years on the females. So my problem is I don't want to rush it, because I have a good group here. Let's see. I will pull one out. Hi, baby. And I'm going through a lot of changes, with the animals that I keep. And generally, if you spread yourself too thin, you can do bad things. And my Bolins, to me, are so precious. And so I have quite a few Bolins pythons. And people don't necessarily realize that. But I've just been... This is one of my target. This is my target dream snake, Nice. So this one has actually been breeding lately, cool. But I'm not breeding it. The time that I was successful, I bred them over at my other place, but I don't have time to go over there and do that. And I'm just getting some of these guys up to age. And it's just like, well, if I invest another year or two, and the majority of them, I'm just going to probably just do better. And I don't want to have anything happen to them. In the past, I've put dissimilar sized animals together. I had 2 of them get eaten or killed. And then one eaten and one killed, thrown up after it was partially eaten.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I've raised pretty much my Bolins from babies. So they didn't come from, weird places, because I had raised some before, and I had one of these fringe Bolins, and I put it into my colony, and it caused so many problems.
Really?
Like sickness. And I just don't want to do anything like that again. So right now I tend to play with my Bolins more than trying to breed them.
All right. So they get a lot more hostile towards each other naturally than retics do when you breed?
I had a couple that were, I don't have a hostile. So these are closely probably related to Papuan pythons. And Papuan pythons are incredibly cannibalistic.
Wow.
They will eat lizards. They will eat other snakes. They eat each other. And these guys are probably the closest thing to a Papuan python. Okay. And guys will sometimes eat each other. Certainly can eat the lizard too.
Right. Yeah, that complicates things a little bit. That's tough. There's not too many things worse than putting them in for breeding and seeing one turn around and take a shot at it. You're like, oh, that sucks.
I've breed, Papuan pythons, and Papuan pythons, sometimes you put them together and it's just a giant nightmare. It's a ball, and they are so strong, unbelievable when they attack each other.
Crazy. That's a gorgeous snake, though. That's awesome.
I have some really nice retics right here that are like jet black, just like this Bolins python, that are just, they might even be more iridescent than Bolins python. Pretty crazy.
Really? Yeah, you do have some. Of course, you can't go full episode without mentioning snarfles, man.
That's my boy. He's right. He doesn't really appreciate his daddy very much, but his daddy appreciates him.
I'm gonna rapid fire through some of this stuff here. Brandon Cox was asking what your thoughts are on super phantoms being blind in bright light.
What?
He's asking if you had any thoughts on super phantoms. Yeah, I guess he probably heard a rumor or something that super phantoms can't see well in bright light.
Never noticed that at all, and I'm the originator of super phantoms.
Okay, well that answers that.
I'm not. Maybe I'm stupid, and it's it's plausible, but no. Just like somebody saying that they have stomach issues or whatever, but I'm in a room with super. I have a super phantom right here, and it's great.
Yeah, I think that's probably kind of piggybacking on some of the things that you hear about just albinos and stuff being sensitive to light and things like that.
I don't know. Let's take a look.
I don't know.
Can I see you? I think I need a hook. We don't want to get snarfed right off the bat. I just woke her. I woke this little girl up. What are you doing? Hi.
I am going to step away for 30 seconds while you're getting that snake out and talking about that. And I will be right back because I've been sitting here drinking coffee for a while.
You're shedding. So she's shedding, but let's see. Let me go. Look at you. Yeah, you look. I don't see any blindness from any of that. Hi, buddy. You want to come out? No, you guys are all like, we want to eat you. Come here. What are you doing? Let's see. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Hi, baby. What are we doing to you?
That changed my whole outlook on life right there.
This is a little breeder male right here.
Nice.
No, I don't see anything. There's lights right here.
All right.
He doesn't care.
Now, do you though notice? My understanding is that they see a lot differently in direct sunlight when you take them outside than they do indoors, and they're like incandescent lights and things like that.
I can't deny that. I also think there's a lot more. If we look at the spectrum of the light, the full spectrum, I think they're just being hit with this very powerful, extraordinary amount of UV light and all that. And they see in UV signature that we don't see. Right. So I think it's just overstimulation.
Right. That makes sense. Let's see. Rocco was asking what you think the best beginner monitor lizard is.
Well, that's a really good question. If you have the space, because I breed smaller water monitors, I'd probably say a water monitor.
Right.
One of mine, because they can be great. And I'm breeding water monitors that are starting to be around the size of Argus monitors.
Right. Well, I think that one that I've got here is not going to get terribly large, if I'm not mistaken.
I have ones that, I don't know what's exactly which one it was that you got from Aubrey. But ask, Aubrey will tell you I keep making them smaller and smaller.
Right. Yeah. She's only got one or two of them over there, I think, that are really, really big.
Right.
Let's see. Second question. Tyler Lovell, he wanted to just say that you got him into venomous.
Thank you.
That can either be good or bad depending on how responsible you are with them.
Use your tools. Use your tools. Even though you think otherwise, it's always a safe thing because you're going to be here tomorrow. And that's really important.
Yeah. Bert Llewellyn said, you guys are the bomb. Keep doing what you're doing. Spread the reptile love.
Thank you very much.
Likewise. Oh, let's see. North Carolina Exotic says he's getting a dwarf reticulated python because, see, this is all cool stuff. You know, I was actually talking with somebody on a job site the other day, and he was talking about how it's more and more common he's seeing people with reptiles and snakes and lizards and stuff like that. I'm like, that's the plan.
They make great pets. They're not, super demanding, especially, when we're working so much or whatever. And they still help ground us. So, yeah.
It's awesome, man. And if you've got a smaller collection, man, they are real easy to take care of. And I mean, you get into monitor lizards and they're friggin' nasty, and you've always got to clean them constantly. But I mean, as a whole, reptiles are so easy to work with. But that's another thing too, and I don't know how you kind of stay on the center of the fence on this stuff. I'm always kind of torn with telling people how easy reticulated pythons are and how difficult they are all at the same time. Can be this huge spectrum of difficulty that you can go from real easy to terrifying working with a reticulated python.
Well, it's all about living within the parameters of the animal and being the keeper. So you need to know you have rules. You have to adhere to your rules. And when you don't follow, it's just like it's pretty much like you're at a gun range and you don't do certain things. And if you respect, you're a good gun handler, you never worry the people around you. You never worry yourself, and it's always a positive experience. You get to shoot targets and whatever. Same thing with the pythons. Use your rules, govern yourself with these rules, and then read the animal behavior. They will tell you pretty much everything. And so I find them actually very easy.
Yeah. I had that was something that I had to kind of breach the other day with somebody, because I tell people how easy my retics are to work with, and somebody was like, these things are huge, massive animals. They require all this. They're so dangerous and all that. And it's like, mine are, because I treat them right. And that's what I try and express to people. So,
well, I mean, you talk to anybody who's a good dog handler, you talk to horse people. A lot of times some of the most remarkable horse handlers are women. So they're smaller, more demure than the horse, and they're able to go around there and totally manage an animal that will, if you don't do things right, you can get kicked, you can get your hip broken, you can get everything. And they're able to do it because they have that talent. So retics are easy if you have talent. If you are a boob and you don't have the talent, then that giant Clydesdale can be a nightmare. But to a good, competent horse handler, whisperer that understands the beast, it's probably easy.
It's a good comparison to make. Let's see. Kelp said she got her 4-month retic because of both of you guys. Actually feel so prepared and ready after binge watching all of the videos. Thank you guys for what you do. It's awesome.
I got a lot of videos to binge watch. That's for sure.
Right. I'm trying to catch up if I can get rid of this day job.
I can't say I love it once the content is there. Sometimes just getting myself into the psychological thing, you got to kind of be in a good mood,
Yeah.
And if I'm in a bad mood a lot,
yeah,
not great.
Yeah, that's a tough thing, man. Sometimes when I've got time, I don't have the state of mind to do it, and I'd rather not put something out where I feel like I'm forcing myself to just put something out there. So,
yeah.
See, Panther Palette said, "You guys are both so genuine. Thank you so much, Kevin, for coming on, and Tim for another great live stream. Appreciate it so much. That's why we do it." I'll tell you what, man, I'm having really good results with my video chats with people, the handling videos. So I'll get on, like I've done this several times over the last couple of years where they'll be having problems with their snake, and I'll just do a FaceTime with them or something, have their wife hold the camera.
I've done that. Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. That does so much.
Yes, I've definitely done that. And yeah, I'm like, oh no, see what you're doing. No, you got to do and stuff like that. Right. Yeah. And it's so great when you can navigate to a change in behavior, and it's definitely a solution. That's just great. I mean, it's Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer. Caesar, he just can see it, identifies it. I've got to actually, I've talked to Caesar multiple times.
Nice.
Very, very practical and down to earth, very, but yeah, really nice guy.
Yeah, he seems like a good dude.
He is.
Seems like a really good guy. And he even took the South Park episode really well.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. And so I love South Park. They don't cut anybody any slack. So, oh man, let me see. I think we've just about got through this. I know there's a lot of folks talking about the Bolins. And Tyler said he really loves your Snarfles voice.
It's not my voice. It's Snarfle's voice.
You're right.
Yeah, he's a shit talker.
He does talk a lot of shit, and he's pretty demanding too. So
yeah, I mean, it's a good thing I have a little bit of sturdiness. He's like, he belittles me, tells me how horrible I am, and how great he is, and it's like, gee, you are just so full of yourself.
Right?
Now that he said that, looks like Snarfles. Maybe I'll do a Snarfles video tomorrow.
Just feed the ego some more. He's already got all the ladies after him, man.
He is an exceptional snake. He is so smart, it's silly. You can take him out and just let him go. You could be in the room, and if he's over there and you're sitting here, it's just a matter of time before he's over here crawling up on me and just on me. He loves interacting with people.
That's awesome.
So cool.
Yeah. That's some of my animals here the same way, man. It just, like my little Burmese back there is just the sweetest thing. As soon as I open up the door, she just crawls right out on me. Can't wait until she gets really big. Oh, see, Caudafago. Brandon was saying he just wanted to say your teaching some lessons with snakes, constrictors specifically has changed my life. And thank you for that, Kevin.
Good. This is all nice, positive stuff. I appreciate you guys and those kind comments.
There's so many people that I talk with that just say the same thing. And like I said, man, me included, there's a lot more positivity in this community than there is negativity. And it's just easy to get caught up in the negativity because that's the part that makes you want to throw punch people.
Yeah. I hate people when people will speak ill of me and then they accuse me of like total nonsense. I'm like,
yeah.
How did you ever even come up with this garbage?
Yeah. Well, I've went to bat for you on several occasions about the medical procedures and things like that because I'm like, you know what? It's like I was in special forces medical school. If I run across you in a car accident, should I give you a cricothyroidotomy to save your life, or should I let you die because I don't have a license?
Yeah. Believe it or not, I'm actually pretty damn good at it. Mm-hmm. What I do, and I have a lot of success. Mm-hmm. A lot. So any of those naysayers, even my vet friends are like,
right.
They're like, way more than we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I could go around, probably go 20 miles of my house, find every veterinarian's office I can find, and you've probably got more experience doing procedures on snakes and lizards than their entire office does, because exotics aren't that common. You know, they're not a moneymaker for vets. Dogs and cats are. So.
Yeah, it's those people just suck. The people that naysayers and why aren't you wearing gloves? Really? Like, the gloves are largely to protect me from a bio threat or something like that. I'm tactile. I need my hands. I need to feel and touch, and gloves don't do it.
Right. See, Ethan was asking, what's your preference for feeding larger retics, rabbits or pigs?
Guinea pigs. Frozen, defrosted guinea pigs.
Okay.
I do not like feeding bunny rabbits because I love bunny rabbits. Sorry. I just can't handle it.
Yeah.
Nope.
See, I've got it real easy because there's a rabbit breeder right down the road from me who I get from her. Yep. I go to the freezer. They're in a bag. I ain't got to do nothing but thaw them out, throw them in there.
Associate yourself. But in the fetal pigs, the fetuses, the poop generally is I'm not a fan of when the retics eat those. But the guinea pigs, are just terrific. Terrific.
How big do those get anyway?
Oh yeah, you can get ones,
like 5-6 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they cheap?
Yeah, they work out okay. I actually sell some to Rodent Pro.
Really?
Aubrey gets all his guinea pigs from me. You just got to come here, and that's the best way. Just get a load of pigs from me.
Yeah. At some point, I'm hoping to get up there this summer. Like I said, I keep telling Aubrey I'm gonna jump in his trunk. He's like, well, yeah, but I typically got a truck full of feeders and all that stuff. So let me see if I can catch any of the last minute stuff here. Let's see. Rocco was saying he didn't have any success getting an emerald tree boa to tame down. They always want to bite. That's what I hear. No, I've got a green tree python. He's never been really bitey.
I can tame him, no problem. They're all the same stuff applies.
Yeah. My green tree python's been a sweet animal. Yep. Hey, Jordan from Heartland Reptiles, you made it, buddy. We're just about done. Jordan's a good dude. Really like him. Chad Harsh says, Kevin, do you have a favorite species of reptile to keep?
Nope.
All right.
Somebody asked me, did a tour today. What's my favorite animal? Generally, it's the one in front of me.
That's a good answer.
It's whatever I'm focused on. I love so much stuff. I just don't have it. Like, I love playing with chipmunks, like wild chipmunks. I tame little wild chipmunks. Awesome. When I'm doing that chipmunk is my favorite little animal.
Rodents are awesome.
Just the way I am. That's how my brain works.
Right. See, Bearded Snake get a $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Should have bought his male lavender albino retic from Nerd. And now he's 5 years old, around 9 feet long, and just awesome. Got all my handling tips from both of you.
Very good. Thank you very much.
It's awesome to hear. I think we're just about to the end. Let's see. I've been out here. This is a really cool thing. Tyler, I think he was talking about he was able to go to his retic breeding facility in Kentucky and start getting some hands-on experience before getting his snakes. So just awesome.
So definitely knowing what you're getting yourself into. Obviously, some reticulated keepers get themselves into something and they're like, oh, I'm not ready for this or whatever. Right. But once you do something like that, you're so you're calm about the whole thing, and you're going to be a better handler just for taking that little extra insight. That's obviously responsible, So very good. Right. Good.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. And I think the last one we're going to close down with is Jeremy from World of Wilcox. Says, fun fact, real reptile keepers have scabs.
Have what?
Scabs.
My hands are so beat. I'll do videos and I look at my hands and I'm like, oh my God, my hands look terrible. That my hands are in bleach and they're constantly just, I'm a worker, so they just get worn out. But yeah, we're always got scratches and cuts on us and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I was doing my most intense work with Niles during the same time that I was transporting for the medical examiner's office from crime and accident scenes. So I'm always out there around cops and paramedics and all that stuff. And I've got the big monitor scratches all over my arms. And I look like a self-mutilator. And I can't tell you how many times when we're out on a scene picking up a body and they're all looking at me and they're looking down at my arms and they're looking back at me like, are you okay? Do you need to talk to somebody?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Always pulling pictures of the lizards out.
You're not really good at that. What? You're not really good. Suicide? Yeah. All right, guys. Very much. I appreciate Tim. This was great. You made it easy. And I appreciate your audience. And thank you guys for being even interested in me. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate you coming on. We'll have to do it again sometime. We'll have to get Jeremy and Rob and everybody and Aubrey and Cody, and we'll just do a big Zoom call or something at some point.
Arrange it, I'll do it.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll set that up. All right, Kevin. Thank you so much, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate it. It's good to finally get to connect and touch base with Kevin. Let me run through a couple of these last little comments here to make sure I didn't miss too much. But yeah, I know I probably missed a ton of comments in there. Like I said, guys, we do this every Saturday. So if you've got anything that you wanted to have addressed or anything like that, feel free to, jump in next Saturday. I never know really when we're going to have somebody on with us or not, because we've all got stupid schedules and sometimes it's easier than others. But yeah, Tracy was saying, I've got to get up to Nerd. I've been meaning to get up there forever. Definitely looking for it. I'd love to go out there and start making some content, maybe start doing, maybe get out there with one of Kevin's friendlier or less friendly retakes rather, and maybe do some real serious handling videos and stuff like that to put out now. We'll see. But yeah, guys, it's been an awesome 2 hours. It's great to talk to Kevin. Great to talk to you guys. And I think tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and try to do some more stuff with the Asian water monitor. So we'll get him out for a little while, do a little bit of stuff, maybe do a comparison, like a characteristics comparison or something between the Nile and the Asian water monitor, and kind of show the differences and whatnot, and maybe break that down in detail, since I've got side by side both of them right here. So yeah, guys, thanks so much. And like I said, if you're not subscribed to the channel, get down, get subscribed. It helps us out immensely. We're almost to 10,000. We're like 1,100 subs short of 10,000. So get on, hook that up, like the videos, and we will see you guys next time, whether it be in a couple days when I put another video out or next Saturday. So thanks for hanging out, man. You guys take care. Love you.